Hello everyone. So today I would like to talk to you about the new Andalusian update. This is like the Frisian where it did have a Gen 3 version. However, Star Stable, for one reason or another, Prophet most likely, decided that the Gen 3 version that they had wasn't that good and needed to be redone. Personally, I completely agree for the Andalusian. The original Gen 3 model was done right at the beginning of their Gen 3 horses. I say right at. It was in the awkward phase between like their Gen 2 when they were just figuring out how to do the Gen 3 before they actually nailed it and did it well. I think that the quarter horse was the first Gen 3 horse that really stood out above the rest and was done absolutely amazing, and I think the quarter horse still holds up today. I'm going to be honest, the Andalusian did not impress me at all when it first came out, the original one. It looked too plush to me, the movements were very stiff, it didn't have a lot of character to it. All the colors were very whitewashed and faded, and they didn't have that depth and that richness that I was hoping for. They just didn't impress me. But this remake is absolutely amazing, and I would like to call this video The Curse of Star Stable's Blandness. Not because of the Andalusian, but because of the reviews that I have seen other people give this horse. I've seen a lot of people call this horse too bouncy, that there's too much bounce to this animal, which, to be fair, there is a lot of bounce, but we have to remember that this horse is a historic Iberian breed that did have a lot of bounce to it. Now, the thing that I advocate all the time is you need to emphasize the things that make the horse unique. If you do not do that, there is no reason for me to love this horse above any other. Now I'm going to very pointedly redirect your attention to all of the warm bloods. The Belgian warm blood, the Danish warm blood, which obviously the Danish is the worst out of all of them because of all the abuse that Star Stable fails to fix. It's awful. So that'd be the Belgian, the Danish, the Selle Francais, the Hanoverian. If there's another one, I'm forgetting because I don't care that much. All of these warm blood breeds look identical to me. Every single one of those breeds fill the same void in my heart, and there's nothing really unique about them, save for maybe one or two coat colors. I made my review on the Hanoverian and how disappointed I was in them. The problem is, yes, they are all warm blood, so they are going to be very similar, but you are neglecting to look at the reason those horses exist. Why are there so many different types of warm bloods? Why? Yes, it is because a lot of them had developed in different locations and in different places in the world. That is true, that is a reason, but you need to think deeper about it. What makes them unique? Not only is it their geography and some tiny phylogenetic differences, but it is also the reason they were utilized, and Star Stable just doesn't seem to care about the historical reasons that horses were used. Therefore, you get a lot of bland, warm-blood horses. And the thing that made me so upset about the Andalusian release was that Star Stable they really did exaggerate the unique traits of this animal. They made this horse so unique, so beautiful. They made him stand out. I believe that they leaned into the Spanish part of these horses. They're amazing. The Andalusian is originally from Al-Andalus in Spain. They are a very, very old breed, used for all kinds of different things. They were also used more specifically as war horses. They were brought to the U.S., and they were used in the U.S. by generals and captains in war. They're very bold, very brave horse. They're very easy to train. They're very eager to please. They're beautiful. They form very tight bonds with their owners. They're an amazing horse. And I think Star Stable captured that very well. Like, again, with the passage, which is a dressage move. Dressage is a derivative of war. Dressage was taught to soldiers in war to maintain uniformity and to exercise their horse and to bend their horse around to relieve pressure and stress and to help strengthen their backs and to basically for the longevity and the health of the horse. It's amazing. It really is. So my problem with it is that when this horse was released, people were complaining that it was too bouncy. And to that I say, are you serious? This is a horse that is completely unique from your warm bloods. And that's the complaint that a lot of people make is, oh, it's not like a warm blood. No, it's not. And I don't see why you're holding that against them. It's good that it's not like a warm blood. I'm so sick and tired of warm bloods on this game because they're all the same. Star Stable cannot seem to figure out any way to make them unique. The only thing that is different between the warm bloods that I can see is a price tag. What is the difference? Sure, they have slightly different animations, but if they were standing at a distance and you lined all of them up on the opposite end of this ring right now, I would not be able to tell you which one was which if they were not doing any animations. If you had them T-posing, you know how horses in games T-pose where like they're standing with their 4 feet square, their tail is straight out, and their neck is straight. That's like the horse version of a T-pose in all games. If they were doing that, I would not be able to tell you which one was which. It's that simple. Because they're not unique. They're not. And the Andalusian is. And a lot of people didn't like it for that reason. And the only thing I have to say about that is Star Stable is teaching kids about horses. Whether it means to or not, kids are learning things about horses through Star Stable. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. In most cases, it's bad. But that means that Star Stable needs to give kids a reason to like a certain breed over another. The Jorvik Warmblood was amazing. Or not the Jorvik Warmblood, sorry. The Jorvik Mountain Horse was amazing. Such a unique horse. There are so many reasons to love it. It's the first real gaited horse in the game. It's so unique, and there's a reason to love that. The Andalusian, it's bouncy. It expresses all of the historical traits of this horse that made it so unique and so amazing in the war efforts and everything. So there are reasons to love those horses, and yet people still choose the boring one. And why is that? I think it's because Star Stable has taught these people who play to be comfortable with boring. And people are like, oh, well, I want more horses like Warmbloods. Why? There's already 4 or 5 of them in the game, and they all are the same. If you really want to spend your money on Warmbloods that bad, you have 5 to choose from. That's about 5,000 star coins. That's like $70 worth of star coins right there on boring horses if you really want to spend your money on that. It's just interesting to me to see what people choose and why. But anyway, I don't know if I really need to do a full review on these because I kind of already did. Here's their walk. Their walk is beautiful. I've ridden an Andalusian before. They do move a lot like this. They're very like, they jig with it, you know? They're very bouncy. They're very, their head bobs a lot when they move. They dig in with that back end. Very, very accurate. I like. The trot is very bouncy. The one that I rode was not quite this bouncy. The one thing I will say about the trot that I don't like, there is one thing, it's that, and I know this is because they have to balance the game, it's not really their fault. It looks like it should be moving faster. This looks almost like an extended trot to me, almost like an extended trot. You'd think that it would be moving a little faster, but I know they have to do that just to balance the speed. Otherwise, that's really all I have to say about that. The lope is very pretty. I do like this lope a lot. I don't think I loped when I rode that Andalusian. It's a beautiful lope, though. That canter is nice. So the thing is, it's not extending very far out here, which is nice, very collected. I do like that extension on that canter, that lead. That's very nice. And the gallop is basically just the canter, but a little more extended, which is nice. That's another thing too, is that they didn't make all the animations overly complicated, and I think that complements the horse very well. Like this looks almost like the Lipizan gallop to me, which again is fine. It's an Iberian breed. They're going to look kind of similar. But it's unique enough to be able to tell them apart. So for them to also have this piaffe, it makes sense that the Lipizan does as well, because again, Lipizans and Andalusians were both used as war breeds, so they both use, you know, these dressage sets. So, and obviously the Spanish walk, and they did it so beautifully. And if you look really closely, your character also directs which feet to use. I I never got them to do a Spanish walk. I don't know if that's how you would direct it. It probably is. They probably did research on that, so I'm not going to question them here. Um, but that is what the Spanish walks looks like. I've never ridden a horse while doing a Spanish walk, but I have seen them in person. I couldn't get the horse to do this. The Andalusian that I was riding was in training, and my goal was to the Andalusian that I was riding did not like to go out on trails by himself. He hated trail riding alone. So my job was not to teach him how to do his different gaits and to do the piafs and the Spanish walks or everything. My job was to teach him how to go out on trail rides alone and teach him that it was okay to be by himself. So he and I did a lot of confidence building. So we didn't really do anything that special. The fastest I went on him was a trot, and I think I might have done like a few canter steps just to build a little bit of a relationship with him, but that was really it. Um, After I worked with him though, he trail rides now. He does great. He was an amazing little horse. I loved him. Andalusians are just so cool. They they're very fast learners, I noticed. It was a bad thing for me at a certain point because he learned um, how I was correcting him, and he decided to do something bad to make me stop correcting him in that way, and I had to find a new way to convey my message, and it eventually worked. He was very smart though. He was pushing me in the points where he could tell I was weak, and he was trying to get me to give up, but I didn't, and it went very well. So it was fun. But anyway, um, overall, I think the Andalusian is an amazing horse, an amazing addition to the game. The remake is so worth it. Star Stable, you've been doing an amazing job with your horses recently. You've been making them unique. You've been making them very beautiful, very realistic. Keep it up, okay? The mule, the Jorvik Mountain Horse, the Andalusian. Stay on this path, guys. You're doing great. Have a good one.